Where did the entrepreneur mindset come from for us? I feel like that's a good way to talk in our first podcast that they're going to see, because this is like our first main avenue. Because we definitely had other endeavors, but I mean, I don't think we've ever taken it as seriously as this.
So my entrepreneur mindset, honestly, I would say it came from a little bit from hanging out with you guys.
Mhm.
You know, like just like being around y'all. I feel like that's one thing that honestly like helps you like see more of it, is like if two of your close homies are doing the same thing, you kind of want to jump onto it too. Be like, damn, this is kind of, you know what I mean? Like if you're with like two people that drink all the time, you're obviously gonna start drinking too. Do
That's
you
a
know
good
what I
point.
mean?
That's a good
So
point.
if you're good, like around a good circle,
Guilty
you
by
know what
association.
I'm saying, you're gonna want to jump in, right?
For sure.
So that was a little bit. I'd say a little bit also would be like seeing also my parents always working, or like when we first came here, like my dad constantly working. It's like, damn, do you really want to like keep doing that your whole life that you want to live? You know what I mean? Or instead, can actually spend time with your kids or your family, stuff like that. I'd say that's a little bit that kind of impacted me a little bit. It's like, I want to be no fucking mechanic for 45 years. No offense, you know what I'm saying?
I understand. That's
Yeah, I don't
completely
wanna do that.
understandable. For sure.
Also, I would say, like a little bit other things would. I'd say those are the two biggest ones. Honestly, hanging out with you guys, just having a good circle, and seeing like different like people's point of views. Because I've seen a lot. Honestly, it's all the same thing. All the same people work the same things basically, and no one is happy. You know what I mean? Nobody's happy working the same thing.
I hate to
Like,
laugh about it, but I mean,
like I don't blame you if you're trying to be a doctor, you're trying to be like engineer. Like that's good. Like honestly, if you're passionate about it, do your thing. Like I don't take any credit for, like, you guys do your thing, right? But like, if you're not happy, you're gonna get a degree and then go work at Timmy's or some shit. It's like, what the hell happened there? You know what I mean? What happened to the degree?
I understand.
So I feel like that kind of, it's like, yeah, I'm not trying to do that. That's what I'd rather take my risk on being homeless. If you were to give me options like, yo, you try to do your own thing for 10, 15 years and you can try to build something, or you go homeless after, I'd do that, like straight up.
Yeah.
I would not want to.
Yeah.
I would not want to.
I like that.
Work after, you know what I mean?
I like that because
I'll take the risk.
I think the exact same thing.
That's what I mean. I would take the risk on that.
And that's a good segue. We should actually get into that. Like, what do you think about it?
I'm gonna go into what I think. I just want to ask you real quickly, who was like the first, like, I guess, entrepreneur you seen and was kind of like, maybe not necessarily paved the way for you, but you kind of wanted to copy, like, at least what he had. Like, hey,
cool.
He has what I want type thing, or she. Is there
So
one that
kinda
comes
like
to
a
your
role
mind?
model?
It could kind of be like that. It could be even through like a damn Gary V on social media,
Yeah,
or it could
I
be
would
somebody like an owner we ran into a couple times. Who knows?
I don't have one on the top of my head, but that is a good one. I'd have to think.
Let's think about that, and we'll come back next part too. I'll write that down in my notes. But what did you ask me?
I was gonna say, like, what's your view on that?
Like where the entrepreneurship came from?
Like, at what age did you start thinking? Did like the shift in your mind change from being kind of constrained to a job and one single craft, or to branch out into many different crafts and or income streams?
Okay. So when I was, I'm going to go literally right back to day one just so I can explain it easy for myself. So when I was very little, I wanted to be a soccer player because we played soccer. We love soccer, right? Obviously, you want to be a soccer player. And a very big reason was because I saw the money that was able to be made, and they were having fun, doing what they wanted, kind of living a free lifestyle. And my dad was a very, very huge influence in that because he pretty much like told me, man, like, don't work type thing. You know what I mean? Because he never really showed me like, how do I put this? He never really put it like a way where like chase a passion or do something I love or something like that. I'm not saying that he didn't encourage that kind of stuff, but the main thing he encouraged was live a free lifestyle. You know what I mean? So he was like, you can wake up and do what you want to do if you're in the position where you own something, you created your own brand, company, whatever the case. You know what I mean? And whenever we went somewhere, a restaurant, anywhere, he always pointed out like, hey, the owner, he's not, like, you notice he's not working today. He's hanging out with his family. He's doing this, he's doing that. And he got to say that very easily because he worked like super long hours. So he was like, I make good money and stuff, but look how much time I sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So I seen that at a very early age, that time and money, people trade them, but I think the trade value is like, it's not there. I personally think getting paid per hour is like the least efficient way to get paid. So going into junior high, we've been homies from the day one. So when we were super duper young, there wasn't really like too much talks about entrepreneurship type stuff because we were like too young to even realize. But when we did get into that, we wanted to start a rental business, right? That was the first one, would you say?
Yep.
So we always had that idea that we wanted to work for ourselves and run something ourselves. But the rental business, that's a badass idea, right? Lots of people do it.
Yeah, we were gonna go get two different apprenticeships, and then that way we could, like, one would be a drywall, one would be a plumber or an electrician, and then you just stack them up. And
Have it all
the less
locked.
the less work you can give to other people, the more money you can rake in your own pocket.
100%.
That wasn't a terrible idea.
It's not a terrible idea, but it takes a lot
Yeah, it
of
does.
labor,
Mhm.
a long
Yeah.
a
Very
long time of
stressed.
work
grinding,
too.
grinding.
Mm-hmm.
A long time of work. I'm not saying the podcast is in a better position that we would have been if we did that, but if we did that coming straight out of high school, we would be like just finishing our schooling type shit.
Yeah, right now.
Like, and that's tough.
But you
No, but
would
we
have
would have
a
been
good
working though. We would have been working.
Yeah,
It's
it's like
Because
half-half.
in the last 2 years, it's half. So
Yeah.
It's very true.
we would
But
have been
that's
still
not a,
making like $40K a year.
that's true, but that's still like, don't get me wrong, but I'm very happy we did not do that because there's no way I
There
could put that much work.
And honestly, like, obviously, thinking back, that was a good idea. But with everything that happened, that would have got just tossed aside.
That's actually a good
Like with
point.
COVID, like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah,
got lost.
that's what I'm saying.
That's a
There
good
would have been
point.
no apprenticeships.
This is probably the most reliable one that you can chase right now.
That's what I mean.
Straight up.
You
The
know what
Oodle
I
Noodle
mean?
over here got closed down. You know that?
What's that one?
The Oodle Noodle by Block Barn, not there no more.
Oh, wow.
It's tough.
See, and that's like big businesses.
That's
And
what I'm
anyways,
saying.
continue.
But yeah, to go back into that, we had that idea from very young. We always wanted to be entrepreneurs, and I don't think that we necessarily knew that it was entrepreneurship at that time. We just wanted to own our own thing and be free. So then we started Money Team Men after. We kind of abandoned that idea about the rental. We started Money Team Men, which is pretty much what this was, but just a blog. Let's all touch on Money Team Men real quick. Like, what do you guys think?
Everybody
guys-
knew it.
What did you guys learn from Money Team Men? Like, let's talk about that. What do you guys think about Money Team Men? You know how we were talking about when we think
Mhm.
of OneThird, what do we think? When we
Mhm.
think of Money Team Men, what do we think? One of you guys go first.
Just a bunch of high school kids trying to do something. How do I think about money?
I would say it was the seed. I'll call that one the seed.
I like
We
that.
actually committed to it, and regardless of whether we actually did make money.
Yeah.
In all honesty, we made more money than we've made from the podcast so
Yeah.
far. We made like $80, and that
was
doesn't
there.
sound like a lot, but we were getting hundreds of views on
Mhm.
our blogs.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. A lot of people read my shit. I'm like,
Yeah,
what
bro.
the
All
fuck?
of us
actually
were
reading it.
getting like
Yeah.
100 views per blog post. So that's like dipping your toes in.
It felt good.
We dipped our toesies in. We just didn't commit long enough to it. I will say that we didn't really give it a good shakedown.
Mhm.
We kind of abandoned it a
I
little
felt
early.
like I was an author.
Yeah, straight up.
It did feel good.
Like,
But in saying that, it was just like, yeah, the seed. That's what
I
I
think
would. That's what I would call it.
I think so too. I think that that was our, like you said, the seed. That was the first plan that we went at. Just dove in with a blindfold on. You know what I mean?
I actually, the funny thing is I bought the domain to that in class because I was on my phone on Instagram, and this one guy that I used to follow, he would give courses on how to grow and how to like manage a blog, and I followed one of those courses. I paid for it, and then he had like a free 20% off for the year. So I was like, I was in class. I was like, hey, screw it. Bought it in class, set it all up in class during math class while I'm supposed to be, in school.
in school.
Anyways, and that's how it started. So that's how like spontaneous it was. I didn't think about it at all.
Just boom.
Just seen it. All right, let's go.
Bought it.
Jump in.
That's so funny. Money Team Men, that definitely was the seed. And then that sprouted with all the feedback and like the good, like, I don't know how to say it. Basically just good feedback we were getting from that. That was like, dude, this is possible.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I honestly think we fucked it up ourselves. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, for sure.
You know what
100%.
I mean?
I-
A bunch of dumb shit.
I
with it.
myself, I wasn't committed. I didn't have a plan. I didn't really.
We could have done good.
Yo, that could have been like we could have been still making money off of it.
If I was in the mindset I was today, I'd love to do blogs again eventually
Mm-hmm.
because I'm actually learning.
And blogs are an easier way to make income than YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Because if it's your own website, you can produce the ads. You
That's true
can
too, yeah.
set it all up and make different pay structures.
Yeah, because it's your domain.
Yeah, your domain.
By explaining all of this kind of stuff, it may sound a little bit like disorganized on how we did that, but we just love to try new things out. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's almost what I think of
You
when
fail,
I think
you
of
go.
1/3 too. Yeah, we have
You know
so
what I'm
many like fails and losses. I'd
That's what I'm
say
saying. You fail, you go again. Fail, go again. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
one time
Until-
it'll work out.
Yeah,
Mhm.
one time it'll work out.
What about your like introduction to entrepreneurship?
So for me, I would say it genuinely started from like a young age, and not necessarily around the mindset of being an entrepreneur, but around the mindset of not having anybody make decisions for me.
I couldn't agree more.
That's really where the main thing is. Like I had a very big problem with authority, a big problem with anybody telling me what to do other than myself and my own voice in my head, right? But that's where it started, and I'd say that from there, from a very young age, I used to do anything for money. I literally, I used to clean houses, I used to clean yards, shovel snow. I've done many different types of lawn care, irrigation, all that type of stuff. I used to go house to house after a snowfall and make $100 in that day just shoveling. So like, I would say that I've been an entrepreneur since I was like 9.
Mm-hmm.
I've always, whenever I needed cash, I've gone out and I've made that cash.
Yeah.
And I didn't have a job majority of the time. So that's like, and I guess like, what age can you get a job?
14?
That's the 14.
Pretty sure.
So like, I guess that was part of the problem as well, because I couldn't go get a job and I needed cash.
Mm-hmm.
So I was forced to come up with different ways to make cash.
Yeah.
And that was kind of the seed. And obviously we already went into our ideas as a rental business, and that came from Darren, my brother's dad, and he has his own rental business, and
Yep.
I see the lifestyle that he makes, and I wouldn't call him an entrepreneur, but he definitely is an entrepreneur in a way that he works for himself and he decides the hours.
He owns his own business.
He owns his own business, but on the flip side of that, he does still
Work.
have the little bit of a closed mindset when it comes to more entrepreneurial ideas. Like, he doesn't feel the need to expand his business. He's good with it just as himself. And an entrepreneur would look to scale a business like that and make it so profitable that you wouldn't have to work. So in that sense, he doesn't really have that part of the mindset, but he does try, and that is his own attempt. So in my mind, that was one of the easiest ways that I seen, because that was in my life. And then after that, I would say the one, and I want to go back to what you said. I know it sounds a little bit disorganized, but when you said who kind of, like, what entrepreneur kind of led you down that road, or at what point, and I would say that when we were in ME, I took this one business class, and that was on career day, and I wish I remembered his name. I'm gonna bring his name for the next podcast, or we'll edit it in.
It's
but
somewhere.
it was that one Asian businessman that he came,
Excuse me.
and I was sitting in his class, and I was looking around, and a lot of the people in his class, I could tell that they were workers at heart, you know.
Yeah.
Like, I could see the things that they were looking at him, and they were kind of a little confused at the way that he went about things and the way that he explained things. But the moment I saw him talk and explain, I knew. I just knew. I just stared at him, and I already felt in my being that was what I wanted to pursue.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And what exactly did he do?
So he created his own business.
What kind of business?
I don't remember. It was 4 years ago, obviously, so it's a little bit hazy, but I know that he created his own business, and it failed for many, many years, and he created a 5-year plan. So he created his business at the beginning of the 5 years, and it failed for 4.5 years, and he was almost bankrupt. And then the last 2 months, an overseas investor seen it, invested in it, and then it exploded, and at the end of the 5 years, he was now free. He never had to work again. I know that on the start of his career, before that 5-year plan, he went to business school. He flipped. He bought one of the first that really fancy coffee shop, First Cup.
Oh, second
cup.
First cup. Yeah.
So yeah, he bought one of those franchises when they were very, very new Edmonton. Like, he was the very first one to bought it. Then he flipped it for double his money, and then that's kind of
Nice.
where the capital
Where
started.
did he get that money from? I wonder.
So his family's a little bit wealthier.
Oh, I understand.
So he had a little bit of a loan, but him and his sister went in it together. So they both
Yeah.
borrowed a little bit of money, had a little bit of money. So
Yeah,
that
do
does
what you
help.
got.
I would get a franchise. I would like buy a franchise.
The only thing with the
What you got.
franchise is, like, you just do need a lot of income.
Yeah, you do.
That
For
is
sure.
the only thing.
But if you got that, why
yeah,
not?
you're right. You're right. It's a safer option for sure. And then from there, we went into Money Team Men. And from Money Team Men, I learned that this lifestyle definitely isn't for everybody. It definitely isn't easy in any
Definitely
sense.
not easy.
And you pay for it. Obviously, later in life, it becomes easy. But in the moment, you pay for it. And you pay for it every minute. You pay for it every second, every hour of the day.
Oh my
It's not an easy trip,
gosh.
and it's not easy mentally or physically.
That's what I was just about to say.
And that was the wake up call. That was really the start of it, and I realized that you really do need to commit more into it if you want to succeed.
Mm-hmm.
You do both mentally and time.
Also, you went through some schemes,
Yeah.
I don't really say so.
some pyramid schemes.
I learned from every single experience I had. I learned something.
Yeah, we definitely learned.
So
from
like
it,
you say
but-
that
I
was
don't
a,
learn
you say that
anything
was a
from it.
pyramid scheme, but they
But
did
it
teach you a
was.
lot.
What did they teach me?
I learned a lot.
That's
too.
what I'm saying. You
Well,
did
just a little bit
you
of
did
everything.
learn about business.
They're basically rubbing in your face. You guys want to be successful? Buy my course.
They kind
Buy
of
my thing.
they kind of do rub it in the face, but
a little bit.
with like what they got. But
Yeah, they
we
do.
did learn a bit about like goal setting.
That's what I'm
chasing your
saying, like,
dreams. it
and
was like
those are-
another reassuring.
I've been had
moment.
that before we went in there.
No,
What do
I
you
don't think you
mean?
did.
Come
I-
on.
I-
They
understand
forced
what
you
he's
to
saying.
read more books. They forced you to educate yourself on
I
that
would say
lifestyle.
Solomon's pretty cool.
They
That's
were-
the only person.
They were training
was
you
cool.
to live a lifestyle that entrepreneurs live.
Yeah.
That's what they were doing. And they were obviously they had a thing that they were selling to do that. But at the end of the day, they were
That.
teaching you life skills that every entrepreneur has.
It's true.
And
So
I
that was the
think-
trade-off.
And I think the longer we stayed there, the longer we would have got brainwashed.
I don't know, bro.
They were
Like I had a chip
Hey,
on my head.
whatever you say about he's definitely a successful individual.
for sure. But all I'm saying is because of the pyramid scheme. You don't make money unless people are under you in a situation like that.
Yeah.
If you don't have people under you, you don't make money.
I'm just saying, y'all.
Our main mission, they said, hey, go find people.
I'm just saying, y'all. If they come up
That's
to you with
true.
that Amway stuff, just don't do it.
I agree with what Jack's saying.
Learn what
I
you
agree with
can
what
from
you're saying.
every situation. That's all I'm
I'm just saying,
saying.
if you guys ever seen this in the scene in SpongeBob where he has the chump buckets in all their head because they're all brainwashed, that's what it feels
He
like,
said
y'all.
the chum bucket.
Oh
Just
my
be
gosh.
careful.
Golly.
But
That's
anyways,
funny.
continue.
But-
That's where we are. Like that was the last kind of entrepreneur thing that we looked into
Yep.
before starting this a year and a half ago. And we've come a long way in a year and a half. I mean, you guys will see our early podcasts at the Black Table. We'll call them Black Table Podcasts.
Burning
Cue the
points.
montage.
Born in-
What's up, guys? It's OneThird. We're live.
That's hilarious. But yeah, like I was saying, man.
Snack time with the show. Hey, dog.
Yeah, this dude's always munching.
Always munching.
Every time. Where'd it come from?
This is OneThird Podcast, baby.
Tyson.
Bashar.
Jackson.
OneThird.
Hey, we had the Black Table Talks, man. No, but seriously, it was.
We should have named it that.
We should have.
What the?
Seriously.
Black Table
It was
Talk.
this,
It was the toes in.
It was a toes in, and this like we were saying, this whole description of it is so hard to like break it down and explain without sitting down and mapping exactly what we're gonna say. But we just mean to say is that I want to
Be
chase
free.
my dreams. That's it. I want to chase my dreams. I want to do what I'm passionate about, and in the midst of doing what I'm passionate about, I want to be able to like be in
Mhm.
service of people. You know what I mean? If I could give a couple people some helping hand while I'm living the life I want to, which is just free. I don't have to be a millionaire or whatever the case. Obviously, I want to be crazy. You know what I mean? On some Elon Musk, but I just want to be a free man.